Hello everyone, welcome back to another AFK journey video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the top teams for you to be running in the Crystal Beetle or working towards to try and get these heroes to Mythic Plus, because that is when this team is going to do really well. We are on day 2 now. A lot of people have tested various teams, and I think we have a list of the top teams that you should be trying to run. So we're going to try to reclaim a decent ranking position. 49 is too low for the level that we're at. Okay, so the first team I'm going to lock in is going to be the most obtainable team that everyone will be able to run. We're going to run with the evocation spell. It allows you to live for a little bit longer, and also it increases your damage by quite a lot. So Corrin is going to be the actual only quote-unquote damage dealer in the team, but there are many other damage sources. So we're going to also be running Thorin, and we will be running Smokey as well. So in this boss, because Thorin will reflect the damage that is taken by him, Thorin ends up dealing, I think, not as much damage as Corrin, of course, but almost as much. And Smokey then is going to be your third biggest source of damage. But in order for Smokey to deal damage, he needs to be Mythic Plus. Thorin doesn't need to be Mythic Plus, but that would help Smokey survive for a little bit longer. Corrin needs to be Mythic Plus if you want to run him as a damage dealer, and anyway, you should be trying to prioritize that in your Dream Realm boss heroes that you're building up from the Dream Realm shop. So make sure to get him to Mythic Plus, and ideally even Supreme Plus, but Mythic Plus is good enough. And Lucius should be Mythic Plus. So the real takeaway, we'll jump into the battle right now. And Rainier has to be Mythic Plus if you want to even consider running him in any boss battle. So that's something you also have to keep in mind. We'll talk about some replacements if you don't have certain one of these heroes at Mythic Plus after we're done with this run. But the real major point you're going to notice, Lucius does really well in boss battles in this season, and I'm gonna imagine there are going to be more boss battles in the future. Already he's really good in battle drills because his seasonal skill will increase the damage dealt by your team and also increase their haste. Like, look at the damage score already. We've already passed the damage we dealt in yesterday's testing, just through the Smokey and Thorin damage, and then also the Corrin damage on top of all of that. And then once you deal more damage to him, you're going to notice that you're going to end up dying. So we never got to this point in yesterday's boss attempt. Like, the boss never ended up dealing this much damage to us, so I thought there would never be any issue with surviving in this boss battle. Okay, this is our final stretch, last 10 seconds. Let's squeeze out as much damage as we can. Lucius is down, Rainier is down, but Rainier doesn't really matter. And there we go. So we got 24.2 billion.
Perfection needs no...
Almost double the damage we dealt in yesterday's team. And this is going to be a team that everyone can put together. Your levels will probably, obviously, not be as high, but eventually you will keep leveling up your team. And towards the end of the Crystal Beetle, you will have levels like this, or even earlier than the end of the Crystal Beetle, probably, because we only took 2% of his life in the first day. It'll probably ramp up and go faster, but let's take a look at the damage chart. So Corrin deals so much damage, but like we said, Thorin is going to be the second most damage dealt, and Smokey is going to be the third. This is the team you want to shoot for, and this is again to show you that Rainier to Mythic Plus is going to be the most important Celestial Hypergene hero. I thought maybe previously you could get one copy of Scarlita for some AFK stages, but I don't recommend that anymore. I think fully focus Rainier to Mythic Plus from the beginning of your account, and by the time you're in Crystal Beetle of the new season, even free to play, you should either have him or almost have him at Mythic Plus. By the end of Crystal Beetle, you should have him if you're in an active guild, spending all your guild coins buying him, and then also stargazing tickets. So Smokey should be on your wish list until Mythic Plus, like we have talked about in the updated wish list guide. Thorin until Mythic Plus. Even beyond that, I have Thorin even though he's at Paragon 1 and I can't even get Paragon 2. I still have him for when we do unlock that. We're going to be able to promote him. Thorin is a key hero everywhere, PvP, PvE. And Corrin is your key damage dealer for the Crystal Beetle boss. Merrily and Odie do not do as well as him, which is crazy. So that is the team comp, and it was with the evocation spell. It was using basically 2 A-level heroes, which is crazy, Lucius and Corrin, and then using the other S-level heroes, which, I mean, you should already be working on your Smokey and your Thorin, and you can put together a good team like this. So for the next team that I want to try the... So if you have Freyasto, highly ascended. I wouldn't recommend, again, running like one copy of Freyasto here, but if you have him like Mythic Plus, then people run Freyasto in this team instead of Lucius, and that can be a decent option. But I think Lucius does really well, as you could see, and I think the reason why he does so well is he shields your front line, so he is constantly shielding your Corrin, and Corrin is able to get off non-stop damage throughout the entire fight. So if you want to try, you can try Quick Blade spell. We will try that again with this team, but before that, I want to try a different version of a team. If you have a Mythic Plus Scarlita, I just want to see whether this is going to do any better than the, we're not going to swap Rainier. We're going to swap Smokey for, we'll try the Mythic Plus Rainier, because this was a team that Ofter used in yesterday's video that we covered. But I want to test it on my own account and see if it does better. But I really think that Smokey is going to be your best option, because he gives you the attack buff and the haste, and also when you get to that later point when the boss is dealing massive damage to you, then you need Smokey to kind of keep your team alive. But we'll check it out with the evocation spell whether this could possibly be better. But yeah, this is a pretty free-to-play friendly boss because of the fact that you just need the Celestial Hypogean Rainier at Mythic Plus. And if you keep targeting that from the beginning, you should have him by now. And then the other heroes you should have already been focusing on early on. The only one is really Lucius, who everyone thought Lucius is not a good hero to focus. And also you need to have Merrily and Corrin on your wish list, so there's not much space for Lucius on the wish list. However, I do think that he is a priority in the new season. His seasonal skill is just so strong, and that's a really cool feature, because in future seasons we never know which hero is going to get such a powerful seasonal skill, and then maybe an underrated, underused hero actually ends up being one of the best. Okay, so here we're not really dealing as much damage. We did 24 billion with the Smokey team, so Smokey is even out-damaging Scarlita, which is good to see for all of you people who don't have Scarlita. Scarlita never really was a key hero to be using in the bosses. But if you look at the damage, Corrin did less, because Smokey didn't power up Corrin's attacks, so that is why Smokey is just better. So that's crazy. The Smokey team is actually the best overall team, the team that we showed first over here. And we got ranking of 3 with this, but this is day 2. So the people who out-level us are going to outrank us, but we went from rank 49 to rank 3 just with this team. Okay, so let's do the team one more time. I think this is the best lineup of it, having Thorin protect the Smokey, and we'll try now with Quick Blade spell, because this is going to allow Corrin to deal a little bit more damage. And also the spells, the artifacts effect will also deal some damage to the boss when it goes off. But yeah, so if you're in an earlier game standpoint and you still have some time before the new season, or maybe the new season has just started for you, make sure to have Smokey on your wish list for your epic hero recruitment. And also make sure Thorin is there to try and get him. Anyway, for PvP content, he is a big priority. And keep buying Rainier from all of your guild shop and your stargazing tickets. Only do them on Rainier until he's Mythic Plus. It will take 8 copies in order to get him there, like the original copy, and then 7 more. But it is so worth it. He is your key for maximizing damage in almost all boss fights, and especially in this Primal Lord he is. So Rainier already died. And one issue with that is Rainier's seasonal skill provides a shield to one of your allies, so that can prevent the boss's knock-up ability going off. So without the evocation spell, he might have died a little bit earlier than normal. But let's see, 24 billion is what we have to beat, and we're not going to beat it. So evocation spell is probably the best spell to be running.
Perfection needs
and that is pretty much it for what we had to talk about in today's video. We'll just quickly take a look at the seasonal ability, specifically the only ones which are important, mainly Lucius. So, and you don't need him Supreme Plus, all you need him is Mythic Plus, because at Mythic Plus he will have the Sacred Beam effect, and it will, each enemy hit grants a 3% health shield for 4 seconds, dealing damage to all enemies within, reducing 8% attack. His ultimate grants allies on adjacent tiles a shield that blocks. So even without Mythic Plus, he will have his main shield effect. This Mythic Plus is only for shielding himself, I guess, because seems like it's only a self shield. So yeah, you don't even need his Mythic Plus. And really, you don't even need his hero focus, his healing, like you have Smokey to heal. So you don't even need him that ascended. You can run him without Mythic Plus. So that's going to be a key thing. You can, even if you don't have him that ascended, still try him in the team. Thorin can run even with one copy because you don't have the Soul Pact, so maybe Smokey would die a little bit earlier, but I think Smokey should still survive for long enough. Smokey needs to be Mythic Plus, Corrin needs to be Mythic Plus, Rainier needs to be Mythic Plus. Now, if you don't have Rainier, there are replacement options. You can run Coco, for example. If Coco is Mythic Plus, she also has her shield effect. And we tried it in the first run of the boss, and it didn't do that well because we weren't using maybe Corrin as the damage dealer, which we should have been using. But she will provide the shield that can prevent some of the knockup from the boss's skill, but it's a little bit awkward because this skill is not for... The shield only lasts for 7 seconds, and it is only after her ultimate duration ends, so it's not like a really high uptime of the shield, which is the major issue. But you can run her. She also will stagger the damage to help your team survive. But if she's not Mythic Plus, I probably wouldn't run her. Like, the other team is just more effective, and Lucius is the best form of consistent shielding for your team. But yeah, the Lucius seasonal skill, you probably have already seen it, but if you haven't, 10 seconds into the battle, if all of your allies are alive. So the thing is, his buff will only apply when your whole team is alive, and that's another reason you want to keep everyone alive for as long as possible, so evocation spell is better. Because he will give you a haste buff, which goes up to by 10, and increase damage dealt buff by 15%. If they are alive 10 seconds into battle and 40 seconds into battle. But maybe what this means is that after 40 seconds they get the damage buff, and then even if they die from that point on, everyone still has that damage buff. I'm not entirely sure based on the wording of this, but either way, keeping your entire team alive for the whole fight is going to be important. And when survival is a problem, then evocation spell just outperforms quick blade spell. So Coco would be your next best option if you don't have maybe Rainier at Mythic Plus. I don't know about Kruger because he would increase the damage that Corrin deals, and he would be up in the front line getting buffed up with the shield from Lucius, so maybe that would be a potential option. I don't think Kruger would be too bad, but it seems like to me running multiple damage deals like Corrin along with OD or Merrily probably is not the best option. Better to have another debuffer like Rainier Mythic Plus, but if you don't have Rainier Mythic Plus, then I would try maybe Coco or Kruger, like another form of debuff or another form of shielding to prevent the knockup from the boss. But I think those are going to be the top teams. The top overall team we showed first of all with the evocation spell. We managed to rank 3 now in the Crystal Beetle, and you guys will be able to also rank really well with this team. So probably now that people know like the best team comps, the Crystal Beetle will die quicker. Because the first day we were kind of testing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and good luck in your performance on the Crystal Beetle, and let me know what teams you want in the description or comment section of this video. But until the next video, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe because we upload daily AFK journey content with updates and guides to help you progress. But until the next video, everyone, peace out for now, and I'll see you in the next video.